Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Warboss Tae here, and I thought I'd make this channel on painting and things to do with the Games Workshop Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k games that I'm getting into, so hopefully to motivate myself to, paint more and better and to improve, because I'm always looking to improve. So this is the unit that I've got on the table right now, on the painting table that is, not ready for the gaming table. It's a unit of 15 Dwarf Miners, and this is a commission work I'm doing for a friend of mine, Joe, and I'm just going to take you through some of the foundation. This is the base coat stage that I'm doing right now, to show you what my process was with it, and everybody, paints different, and no two painters are alike, so I'm just going to share with you my process that I've done, and hopefully if you guys like some of what you see, then you can use it to add to your repertoire of painting techniques. So as you can see, I've got 15 units of the old GW Dwarf Miners, and these are the metal ones, or the pewter ones, and they're really, really well done. The new plastic ones have their appeal, but there's really just nothing like these old pewter Games Workshop models. So I'm going to show you some of the paints I used. If you've noticed, I gave one guy right here, the standard bearer in the middle, I gave him a Deneb Stone colored beard, and everybody else I gave Khemri Brown for their beards, because I'm planning to use washes to make them all look dark and grimy. I didn't want to have any colorful blondes or redheads in this miners. They're all hard-working dwarves, hi-ho, hi-ho, they're off to work. And so these are the foundation paints I've used for them. Khemri Brown, like I said, for the beards. Deneb Stone for the I'm sorry, he's not a standard bearer, he's a unit champion. Yeah, that makes sense. I just saw the standard next to him and I was like, he's a standard bearer, but he's like, oh boss, I'm the standard bearer. Yeah, I'm the champion. So he's a little older, so he's got that almost graying white beard. Gonna wash it a little bit later with Griffin Sepia. Gives a really good shade to it while still maintaining that white look, crisp and white, that I found. Also, their skin, Talarn flesh, and all metal bits and pieces is bolt gun metal. And this is the first stage. I've painted a couple of test models for these Dwarf Miners, but this is the first stage that I've done for them. And along the way, I'm going to add some bestial brown. Not really sure how to say that. Bestial. For there, I've started on this guy's gloves and boots, and I'm going to do that for the rest of them. It gives a really, really good leathery, earthy color when you wash it with Devlan Mud. And Devlan Mud, I mean all the washes. Devlan Mud, Badab Black, I mean they're so great. They really add just like the perfect amount of shading, as long as it's not too much. I used to paint before, and I think sometime during 3rd or 4th edition, and we didn't have these washes back then, and man, it was a pain having to thin down your dark paints to give good coverage. But these bad boys, Devlan Mud, Badab Black, they are almost interchangeable depending on what you're doing. I found, again, you might have your own opinions and techniques, but I actually have a mixture of these two mixed up in a spare pot that really works well. It's not brown, not too black. It's got a little bit of color. For some different character models I'm actually going to shade them with some Assurman blue to give it magical armor, shiny, really, really bright magical dwarf Gromril kind of armor look to it. But for these guys are down and dirty. They're working in the mines, so they're going to be shaded nice and dark. And for most guys, I shade and then I highlight them, give them a highlight. But for these guys, I'm going to keep them dark because I'm doing an object source lighting effect, OSL, that hopefully it'll turn out okay. It's my first time doing it. I've never tried it before. I've read as much as I could find about it, so I just hope my friend is happy with the results. I'm pretty happy so far. I did a couple of test figures I'm going to show you in a little while. But just to finish, my friend said he wanted the color of the dwarf hold to be kind of salamander green, so I'm going to be doing the snot green washed with Thraka Green for the fringe of the clothes, and you know, bits and pieces here and there just to give it a little bit of color to pop it. And finally, is that it? Finally, a little bit of shine and gold, because you know, those dwarves, they love their gold. And I found that depending on what the gold is, like for a lot of my dwarf lords or dwarf characters, I'm gonna give them a burnished gold highlight washed with griffin sepia, because that pops out nice and bright. But for these guys, like I said, they're working in the mines, so they're little bits and pieces of gold that they have, because even middle class, lower class dwarves working hard, they love their gold, is going to be a little bit dirtier, so I'm going to wash it with that Devlan Mud mix. So I'm going to show you my 2 test models here. Here's one, and here's number 2. So, like I said, I'm trying this object source lighting effect, which means that the miners, most of them have candles on their helmets, and I'm trying to paint a realistic as I could do it, glow from their helmet to, you know, various parts of their body. And like I said, here's the green, here's a little bit of the gold on their on this guy, and so the way I did it was I painted from the flame, and this great article I read said, just imagine that whatever you're painting from the light source out, it's like a grenade full of paint just exploded and spread paint to like in a realistic way. It would be a little bit heavier. You don't want it too heavy, because you don't want it to look like you just painted yellow all over your dwarves, which is basically what it is. You want to really lightly dry brush and feather it in the direction that it's going to be going. So I'm kind of happy with these 2 test models, and I think I'm going to carry that for the rest of them. And I don't know, what do you guys think? I tried to get as realistic as possible a lighting effect on them, not to go too heavy. But like I said, this is my first time, never done OSL before, so I am really just trying to see, you know, how much to do. And I'll probably be going a little bit lighter, because I don't want it to look like an army of bearded peeps running around with pickaxes. Don't laugh at us. Take us seriously. We're not peeps. We're dwarves. Rah, do a video about me. Maybe later, orc. Now, I'm focusing on these miners.